Hey guys, today we are in a 2020 C8 Corvette Convertible, and we have one goal. That is to find out if you can drive a Corvette in the snow. This is completely stock. We have the stock Michelin All Seasons. We're in northern Michigan, where we actually have a good amount of snow in the state. We actually originally scheduled a Corvette with winter tires for this week, but Chevrolet said, you know what? Why don't you try the one with all seasons? You might be surprised. So we're always up for a challenge, and that's where we are this week. For better or for worse, there's no doubt that the Corvette would be a beast in the snow on winter tires, but I'm actually very curious to see how it'll do on these all seasons. We've had a little bit of fun in this thing already and gotten an idea of its capabilities, but let's take it around and see how it does. We've got it set to weather mode. We're going to leave traction control on to start, and then we'll turn everything off and have some fun. So starting off here, we're in about an inch or so. The Corvette does have the cards stacked in its favor. It is mid-engined, so you've got a lot of weight and traction over the rear wheels. And already, I'm seeing that weather mode is letting me get a little bit sideways. It's allowing for a small amount of slip. There's a lot of clicking going on. Traction control light is flashing. It's kind of figuring it all out in the background. You can use the paddle shifters to slow down just a little bit. There's not a lot of grip, but we're getting through it. Unfortunately, we don't have any really deep snow today to show how things are. This is just surface level stuff. But I guess this is a good test to say, hey, let's say you took your Corvette to work one day, you didn't quite look at the weather, and on your way home, you get caught in a little bit of snow. Could you make it home all right? If you don't have any steep hills or mountain passes in your area, you'd actually probably be in pretty good shape. Coming down this hill on the brakes, we're getting a little squirrely. That is one thing I noticed, that under braking in the snow, you do get an initial slip, an initial slide. You definitely have to be reasonably comfortable with going sideways and have some experience with car control. I will say that traction is actually pretty impressive. There is a little bit of push and understeer initially, so you have to account for that. With traction control off, it'll let you slide around a bit. I will say I am surprised at how confidence-inspiring this Corvette is on main roads. You get into some of the unplowed back roads and yeah, you're gonna run into some issues. But if you've got a little bit of pavement showing, you've got some sand down, maybe a little bit of salt, lane changes, and just driving on normally trafficked streets is a very relaxing experience in this Corvette. Leaving all the systems on, it's predictable. There are really no surprises. It tracks very straight. Gets a little bit squirrely under braking sometimes, but you just have to know what to expect. So right now, if I were to go hard on the brakes, it's just gonna kind of turn towards the camber of the road. But going up this hill, no issues. actually pretty impressed. In all weather mode, this traction system does a really nice job managing wheel slip. You do have to be cognizant of what you're driving on and where you are. Let's turn things off here and see how we get up this hill. This is a pretty, it's not a terribly steep hill, but it's definitely nothing to scoff at. Your stability control keeping us in line there. What about with everything off completely? There we go, ESC off. Yeah, the traction control definitely helps to give you a little bit more grip. It's not as fun. This is a very fast steering rack, so you have to be a little bit mindful of your inputs, but at the same time you can recover very quickly. So let's say you get a little bit squirrely, you get a little sideways, you can bring it back very easily without getting all crossed up, which is nice. Definitely not as much confidence here as I would have on winters. I have to be a little bit careful, plan out all of my inputs in this car, and know that whatever I do, maybe 50 or 100 feet back, will affect me 100 feet forward, so to be careful. It's very controllable though, and the mid-engine layout definitely helps with traction. Yeah, on winter tires, this would be a good time. So to answer the question, yes, you can drive a Corvette in the snow. Do you want to? It depends. Depends on the roads, depends on the conditions, depends on the day. But if you don't really have much of a choice, you're stuck in some inclement weather, I think you'll be just fine. I don't think you're gonna have fun in the Corvette in the snow on all seasons, but it's surprisingly capable. I would recommend winter tires if you wanna conquer the snow and confuse some fellow drivers. Oh yeah. So yeah, just under braking it gets a little bit sideways, a little bit squirrely. That said though, ABS seems to keep things nicely controlled. Of course, when you're braking in the snow, you want to kind of stay on the top of that ABS threshold right before it starts to kick in. You can see here where the tail's kicking out, and off throttle ABS is actually kicking in. Let's see how we get up this hill from what's basically a dead stop. So this is a pretty steep section right here. We're going to come to a stop, let off the brake, gently roll into it. Very good, very impressive. My foot is to the floor and traction control is figuring everything out. You just gotta love driving rear-wheel drive cars in the wintertime. Not for the timid, but definitely for the people who are wanting to be entertained. If this video gets a bunch of views, maybe GM will loan us a Corvette with winter tires here later this season, and we can have some fun in that. There's a little sign that comes up telling you that ABS is active. Put it into manual mode here. Oh, yes. It's just like driving in slow motion. All right, well, I think you guys get the idea. That's what a Corvette is like in the snow on stock all seasons. It's actually pretty good. I'm surprised. Again, every snow is different. Every weather condition changes by the day and the time and the precipitation level. But for what we have today in these I think, relatively calm conditions, I'm actually quite surprised. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Stay safe out there and get yourself some winter tires for your Corvette. And if you drive it very rarely, stick with the all seasons. You'll get through some stuff and have a little bit of fun in the meantime. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Very controllable. Blind spot monitoring just came on. Momentum is your friend. Oh, and actually, there's a decent amount of traction up this hill too. Looks like they put some sand down.